flies, and he makes the catch. That's a great play by the left fielder, Walker, and retreating back to first is Stout, and there's now 2 down. A long way to go, and that wind continued to push it farther away from Walker. That's a great sliding play there by the left fielder.
Yeah, you're really able to see from our vantage point. I mean, you could really see how far that thing curved. I mean, we're looking about 4 signs over from where that one started to where it ended up, and it was a good fly ball, but that was a long run for that left fielder.
Here's Gray Zabel as the first pitch to him is bounced in, and Stout will take second base as Hunt blocked it up, but it got out in front of the plate. And now Stout is over at second, and Zabel has a chance to drive him in with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 6-3 is our score. 8 hits for Post State, 1 error so far. For Post 320 starts, 3 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. As Henry London has done a pretty good job of limiting the damage since he's coming in the ball game. Has not allowed a run. The only run that scored since he's been in the game was inherited and technically charged to Miller, but not an earned run given to Logan Miller. Pickoff attempt at second, and back in standing is Stout as he takes his lead again from second base. Zabel, who is 1 for 1 so far, got a single and came around to score to lead off the second inning, and he drew a walk in that second inning as well, as it's now 2-0 to the big man, Zabel. We'll be playing at North Dakota State next fall and report to North Dakota State July 5th. Going to be allowed and going to try to get to as many weekend games as he possibly can for Post State. 2-0 is fouled off of Zabel and is now 2-1. I think, I've kind of said this a couple times, not trying to put an okay with a lot of these guys playing sports in the summer to try and keep them active before the school year starts again. The 2-1 pitch. That one's on the edge now, 2-2. So always play as many sports as they possibly can. Once you get into college, then it turns into, you better just stick to only playing that sport that you're there for college. 2-2. That one's lined up the middle. That might have got off the glove of London, but is caught by the shortstop, Kostenbauer, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the 4th. That was on the nose by Zabel, but a good catch by Kostenbauer. No runs, 1 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We've played 4 completes. It is a 6-3 lead for Post State after 4. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. And we welcome you back. Top of the 5th inning. It is a 6-3 lead for Post State. Aaron Booth on for his 5th inning of work as he will deal with 2, 3, and 4 here in this top of the 5th inning. John Wickler alongside Coach Steve Steele here in the press box with us this evening, and kind of starting might turn it into a tradition and might have it next summer as well, but right now trying to get coaches to come up here and join me in the broadcast booth, because I know all you guys and all the coaches are wanting to talk about not even just your sport, but just sports in general. And I'm trying to give that opportunity for all you coaches to come up here and talk about your team, talk about this Pierre team, the Post State team, everything in between, as that one's grounded to the first baseman. And Andy Gordon will take it himself. 2 pitches and 1 out here to open up the top of the 5th inning. And I hope that I'm right, and you guys are going a little hopefully you're not going too stir crazy, but going a little crazy trying to find a way to talk about sports and to be around sports right now.
Yeah, this is definitely great just to get out and again get to watch live sports, get to see it, and for all of you at home, I mean this is a lot of fun to come up and see what you do, on a game by game basis, because I mean you're juggling things like crazy, and for everyone that's whenever he does repeat some of these box score things, it's pretty crazy that he's got to go through keeping track of all this stuff, finding things to say, tell me things to say because I can't think of anything half the time. So I mean it's a crazy thing to see you work, and it's a lot of fun to see you do what you do best, and you said you're very good at it, but really cool for the coaches of the games you get to call to come up and experience what it is that you get to do on a game-to-game basis.
As it was Wyatt Hunt that lined out to the second baseman Coverdale, and the next one was a ground ball to the third baseman Lincoln Keenels, and that one got off of his glove, and we'll see if they give him a hit or an error as Tate Walker is on first base with 2 down here in the second inning. As discussion, it will be an error charge to Lincoln Keenels. Grismer is outside for ball 1. So that's the second error charge of the ball game to Pierre Post State. Nearly had a really quick inning, almost would have been a 4-pitch inning for Aaron Booth. His 6th pitch of the inning, though, is grounded up the middle for Coverdale to take. His only play is the first. He will make that play in a 6-pitch inning for Aaron Booth on the mound. That's a quick retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 error, no one man left on base. We have played 4.5. It is a 6-3 lead for Pierre. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Back here at the bottom of the 5th inning, as it will be 5, 6, and 7. Cade Hinkle, River Iverson, Matt Luss, John Winkler alongside Coach Steve Steele, who's trying to apply to be my hype man, and so he's done a pretty good job. I mean, he might have if the coaching career doesn't work out for you, which I think it kind of has for you. Have a job as being my hype man. I'd pay some good money to just keep telling me how good of a job I'm doing, especially when everybody else is telling me I'm not doing a good job.
Oh, I don't know about that. No, so I hear nothing but great things about you. I know my parents listen to all the games that we do back home, and they really enjoy you as well. So you're definitely doing a good job. And I said it's really impressive to sit up here and see your mind. Like I can't even comprehend one play, trying to remember what's happening right now, and you've already got 3 things written down in a paragraph ready to roll with. So it's a lot of fun to watch.
Cade Hinkle grounded out to the second baseman, Darrow, and there's one down here in the bottom of the 5th inning, as it will be River Iverson. Coach, you have the job already. You don't have to keep going with this. River Iverson, he is 1 for 2. He got a base hit on a bunt single. He reached second on the air from the pitcher as he tried to bunt his way on. Again, he's trying to continue to show maybe he just doesn't think that I believe that he has the speed and wants to keep trying to make me believe that he's got a lot of speed on the base pass. As he struck out his other at-bat, so he's 1 for 2 here in the ball game as he bats here in the bottom of the 5th. The 0-1 pitch, that one will be popped up into center field. Coming in on it will be the center fielder, and trying to battle the wind was Dansby. He was almost trying to keep his balance out there as his arms were both extended, trying to figure out where that ball was going to go, but he made the catch as it was right to him, and there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Look at he's walking a tightrope out there in center field, and although he had plenty of space all the way around him not to fall. Here's Matt Lusk. He is 0 for 1. He reached on an error, came around to score, as that one's going to be out towards left field, going over for his Tate Walker, and he will make the catch, and that's a quick 1-2-3 inning. not a whole lot of what that was might have been a 5-pitch inning for Henry London. So we've played 5 complete. There is a 6-3 lead for Post State. As we head to the top of the 6th over the Post 320 Stars, you're listening to Post 8 Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Aaron Booth again out for his 6th inning of work. He had plenty of pitches that he didn't use in that 5th inning. Only 6 pitches in the top of the 5th, so that helps out the pitch count to stay in the ball game for at least the top of the 6th inning. We'll see if he can have another quick inning to maybe go the distance here in the ball game. You're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. Better late than never with that legal ID. As Logan Amerman will step to the plate, he is 1 for 2 with a double. He came around to score in the top of the 4th inning. First pitch to him is at the letters for strike 1. Steve Steele, coach of the Pierre Governor football team, coach of the Hawaii Capitals, joins us here in the press box. And the 0-1 pitch, that one misses low and 1-1. I was going to say, unfortunately, as a baseball fan, you're a Detroit Tigers fan, which back several years ago it was more heartbreaking to be a Tigers fan because they were good and just couldn't win the World Series. Now it's just a little bit tougher to be a Tigers fan.
Yeah, you could say that.
One way to put it.
We had the number 1 pick, so that was good. Hopefully, I butchered that guy's name, Torkelson.
Yep.
hopefully he turns out he's got a pretty impressive resume down at Arizona State there. So, hopefully he's able to kind of bring us back a little bit because we've got a lot of youth. And we've got Cabrera that's still making about $185 million a year, and he's probably almost 40 now. So, that's the price you pay for, getting him in his prime for cheaper so they could afford those other guys. And, I guess the one solace is all 5 pitchers that were on their team that lost the World Series have now won a World Series. Of course, none of them were with Detroit, but they all have won a World Series, and I did like that pitching staff. So I'm happy individually for them, and Verlander especially being able to get one, Mart as it may be, still very happy for him, just being such a big fan of him. And, obviously he was a staple in Detroit for a long time.
The leadoff man, Logan Amerman, draws a full count walk, so he is on it first for the second time here in the ball game, and that'll bring in Gage Durham. He had a sacrifice bunt in the top of the second. It was hit by a pitch and came around to score in the top of the 4th. First pitch from Aaron Booth. There's a swing and a miss from the second baseman, Durham, and it's 0-1. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing is you get to see all those guys that when they were really good and had one of the best rotations in all of baseball, one of the best rotations probably in history when you really look at it, how good that rotation was. The 0-1 pitches upstairs and 1-1. But they just couldn't win the World Series, and I do hate to say that the Cardinals beat them in one of the World Series. The Giants beat them in the other of those World Series that they went to. But they had a really good team, and then all those pitchers, they get to win a World Series the last several years. But they, just didn't do it with the Detroit Tigers, and you had to watch it. I believe you said you're not a big fan of Anibal Sanchez winning the World Series, though.
Yeah, I was okay if he didn't win one. He didn't turn out to be what we'd hoped he would be, but I said it's been kind of cool to see everything go full circle because I also remember when they lost 100 games when I was young. Way back in the days. And, I think if there was anyone I was disappointed that they didn't win a World Series, it was Brandon Inch. He was kind of the last holdover from the teams that were the dark ages, where they were as bad or worse as they are now, to make it through that and all the way to the World Series twice. And, he was kind of a do-it-all player. I think he played, honestly, every position at some point in his career. So it would have been cool to see him win one, kind of another fan favorite there. But, yeah, it's you know that gives you a lot of hope too when you know that they've been there before and they made it out. So it's not like you're just trapped, you know, eternally in there like we are with the Lions. So, you know, and the same thing with the Red Wings. You know, they were really, really bad when I was born, and then they were really, really good for like my whole life, and then the last 5 years they've really dropped off. But again, you know, it all goes in a swing, and with the exception of the Lions, kind of like the Vikings fans here, these, you know, close but no cigar, except for we're not really close. So it just gives you hope that someday it'll happen.
3-2 is the count to Gage Darrow, and he kind of threw a little bit of jab in the Vikings fans, but you also gave them the benefit of the doubt that they're a little closer than the Lions are the last several years.
Yeah, I'm not sure if my wife is still listening, but that one was for her.
The 3-2 pitch has popped up. Is it going to stay in play? I believe it's going to get out in that wind, as that one will get out of play, and it will remain at 3-2 here to Gage Darrow. That's taking a jab at the wife. You always compliment her in Coach's Corner. Now you're taking a jab at her here. You guys have spent a little bit more time together lately with the school being done in March instead of being done in May.
Yeah, it's been all good time.
The 3-2 pitch is upstairs, and it's another walk issued here in the inning. Back-to-back walks, and that'll bring in Coach White to head to the mound and talk. And I believe Matt Lusk is going to come in the ball game to try and maybe get 6 outs to close this one out. 6-3 is our score. We will step aside, and we will come back in a minute, and we'll tell you what the changes are. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. We'll keep it here on today's KCCR as Matt Lusk is into the ball game, as moving into, I believe, is that Will Van Camp that moved out to right field, and then Jack Van Camp moving over to center field. I believe that's the changes, as that will take Andy Gordon out of the ball game. And let's try and see if maybe he came into the ball game as well. I believe that's Will Van Camp out in right. Actually, nope, that's not Will Van Camp because he's walking right here in front of the getting over the dugout. So not sure who's out in right field right now that's moved into the game, but Matt Lusk is on the mound, and Jack Van Camp is moved over to center field, looks like, as the 3 outfielders are out there. Coach, I got to use you got better eyes than I do.
I do see Gray. Gray is in the game.
Gray stays at Gray will stay over at first base. Actually, looks like Andy Gordon has moved into the game, so Lincoln Keynoles has moved to the outfield.
Yeah.
And Gordon will enter the game, so the lineup, the batting order will stay the same as Gordon comes out of the DH spot. So Lincoln Keynoles will be in center field, and Jack Van Camp will stay in right. So here are the official changes. Matt Lusk is now on the mound. Andy Gordon is over at third base, and Lincoln Keynoles is out in center field, and everybody else will stay the same. Lusk came in, got the save from the 6th and 7th inning on Sunday against Renner, as he didn't throw enough pitches. He threw under the 40-pitch mark to keep him under 2 days rest. Only need just that 1 day of rest. So it's one it's great to have Matt Lusk already available here, and depending on how he throws in these 2 innings, he might be available come Thursday again, or at least he'll at least be available by Sunday when we travel to Aberdeen after playing the Smitties on Wednesday. But on the first pitch, Andy Gordon just in the game. He'll throw to first, and that will get the sacrifice complete. It's now second and third, so that tying run is at the plate, and Peyton Ness had the sacrifice bunt, and Andy Gordon, who just walked into the ball game to play the field, makes that first play, made it look pretty easy. There's one down, and here's Lane Darrow. A base hit could make this a 1-run ball game. After trailing 6-0 after the second inning, post 320, not going away just yet. First pitch from Lusk. That one's going to get away from Hinkle coming home to try and score. It's going to be Amerman. The throw the plate is not in time. Lusk ended up dropping the ball, and it's now a 6-4 ball game, and a base hit will now make it 6-5 if Darrow can put one through the infield. And with it being 6-4, that run doesn't necessarily mean anything. You don't want to just give up that run in terms of not getting anybody out, but you can play back. You're okay with trading it out for a run here with one down the top of the sixth inning. There's a ground ball to the left side that will bring the run home, and it's going to get through in the outfield as it goes over the top of the glove of Garrett Stout and into the center field. And that is an error going to be charged to Stout, and it's now 6-5, and that tying run is on base. And Post State has got to be careful here. Don't let that tying run to come into score after leading 6-0 after 2 innings. And it goes back to the top of the order for Gavin Dansby. He is 0 for 3, though, with the 3 flyouts. Pickoff attempt, and diving back in safely is Lane Darrow. 3 errors so far for Post 8, 2 for Post 320. But Pierre still leads by 1, 6-5 over the Stars. First pitch from Lusk to Dansby is taken for strike 1. Matt Lusk, another guy, played both ways for the Pierre Governor football team, and just like everybody else that's playing, just that in general played for Pierre football and also here on the baseball field, had a successful season.
Yeah, he was a really good DB for us. Started the whole season at cornerback, and kind of came in. He was a package wide receiver. Came in and played in the slot. He's a really quick guy. Was able to make a lot of moves with the football in his hands, and brought a kind of an added element out of that slot receiver position on offense for us too. So another one of those do-it-all guys that you can attribute a lot of his athleticism to playing all the different sports that he does play.
The 0-2 instead, Dansby will call time and will reset. Darrow will lead away from first, reached on that air. 1 down here in the top of the 6th inning. 6-5 is our score. Pierre leads by 1 as we play here in the top of the 6th. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss in the dirt, and now Dansby will go down on strikes. He is now 0 for 4. That's a big second out. And now Kostenbauer, it's up to him to keep the inning alive, and for Matt Lusk trying to work around that error to get out of this inning and keep Post State with that 6-5 lead, try to tack on in the bottom of the 6th. For Post State, it's going to be 8-9-1. Jack Van Camp, Lincoln Keenels, and Andrew Coverdale will lead things off in that bottom of the 6th inning. Lusk will come set. Here's the first pitch to Kostenbauer in the dirt, and a good block there by Hinkle. And that will keep Darrow on at first base. Hinkle will go play at Rochester Community College in Minnesota next year. Play baseball. The 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be out towards right field. Van Camp, he'll settle underneath it, and he'll make the catch, and that will retire the side here in the top of the 6th inning. 2-run score on no hits in the inning. There was 1 error and 1 man left on base. We have played 5.5. It is 6-5. Pierre leads the Post 320 Stars by 1. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Back here for the bottom of the 6th inning, Jack Van Camp will lead things off, followed by Lincoln Keenels, and then back to the top of the order and Andrew Coverdale as the first pitch from London is outside for ball 1. So Henry London came in with 2 outs in the top of the 2nd inning, and has since one more run came in to score when he got into the ball game, which was not charged to him. He has not allowed a single run from Post State as the 1-0 is fouled back, and it's now 1-1. Jack Van Camp, he's 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the bottom of the 2nd and also flew out to left field in the 3rd. There's a Post 8 team in this ball game that they had 12 guys come to the plate in the bottom of the 2nd. Got those 6 runs, but since then, in the 1st and the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, have gotten nothing and are now clinging to a one-run lead where things were all in favor of Post State through the first 2 innings, as it's now 2-1 to Jack Van Camp. One that will, for Coach White, Coach Nas, make that hair just a little bit grayer, trying to cling to a lead that you had at 6-0 and now lead by 1 in the bottom of the 6th. 3-1 is the count to Jack Van Camp. As Coach Steve Steele, the Pierre Governor football coach, Hawaii Capitals coach as well, the 3-1 swing and a miss, now 3-2. And for you guys, for the football team, the state championship was the only game that was within striking distance in the second half for a team that played against you. As you guys really took it to everybody that you played. The 3-2 is outside, and Van Camp will draw a leadoff walk. And really, that first quarter of the first 2 games, if you look at the season, those are probably 2 of your worst quarters, and you really didn't even play that bad.
Yeah, it was really crazy to think that we were only up 7-0 in both those games. And actually, I think we scored the first play of the second quarter. One of them.
You scored the last play of the first quarter in the first game to go up 7-0, and then you scored the first play of the second quarter to go up 14-0. On West Central.
Okay, so yeah, I knew it was close like that, but yes, I mean, it's just crazy, and I think that just really shows the growth of the team over the course of the year, and even after, as the year went on, you look at Yankton where we had just a huge first half and then didn't really do much in the second half. You really saw the growth of our younger players and the yardage and points that they were able to put up as the year went on as well, which hopefully bodes very well for the season.
Lincoln Keynoles, he drops out a good butt in front of the plate, and the only play is to first base. The sacrifice is complete, 2-3 on the putout. And at second base is Jack Van Camp, and that will bring up Andrew Coverdale, the leadoff hitter, looking to get his first hit of the ball game, which could drive in that 7th run, and the first run since the bottom of the 2nd for Post State. Give them a 2-run lead, at least heading into the top of the 7th. First pitch is outside, 1-0. Yeah, that was and for you guys, you returned a lot from the previous year's state championship team, and that was of the back-to-back team. And so it was pretty much saying, hey, this is Pierre's title to lose. And after the first quarter of the first game, Greg Dean and I were calling the game, and we didn't necessarily have any doubts, but we kind of looked at each other like, wow, this is odd that it's only 7-0. And then I thought the same thing after the first quarter against West Central was only 7-0. Like, wow, the offense is slowly getting things started for you guys. And then Yankton's a week 3, and you guys had 63 points in the first half. They had 21 points in the first 3 plays that you guys had. That was line shot and caught by the third baseman. The throw to second is in time, and they double off Jack Van Camp at second base. Boy, the third baseman, Ness, had to catch that all the way from behind him. That was all the way but past him. And Van Camp had thought he was going to easily score. Instead, he gets doubled off at second, and that retires the side here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So we have played 6 complete innings, and it is a 6-5 lead for Post State. Clinging to that 1-run lead over the Post 320 Stars, Matt Lusk will try and close it out in the top of the 7th. You're listening to Post State Baseball on today's KCCR. Today is KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here at the top of the 7th, as Matt Lusk is on to close things out. Try to close things out. It's 3, 4, and 5. White Hunt, first pitch, ground ball, diving stop by Gordon. Gets up, the throw to first is low and is unable to scoop it out. And the leadoff man is aboard to open up the top of the 7th. Gordon probably had a little bit more time to get up and make that throw. Just didn't make it as quickly as accurate as it'll be an air charge to Gordon in the fourth one of the ball game for Poe State. As it'll bring in Tate Walker now to the plate with nobody out here in the top of the seventh inning. Matt Lusk trying to close it out for Aaron Booth, who threw 5 innings and ended up giving up those 5 runs as he was in charge for all 5 of those that were on the base pass as he came around to score. First pitch missed a low, ball 1. Coach, Aaron Booth, he's got to try and stay as efficient as he possibly can or as effective as he was in the football season next year, too. 4 catches, 4 touchdowns. We don't want to see anything less out of him next year.
Yeah, that's some next-gen stats, bringing that back to Coach's Corner. But, yeah, 4 for 4, 3 catches for 3 touchdowns against Spearfish when we went out there. And then he had 1 for 1 against Mitchell, I believe. So, yeah, 100%. Every time he touched the ball was a touchdown. So, be a pretty cool stat to keep going.
Right. And I don't know, maybe next year if you only throw the ball to him in the end zone, he's the red zone threat. He's going to be in the end zone when the ball is coming to him just to make sure that he can continue that many catches for that many touchdowns.
Yeah, well, and one of them was one of them in Spearfish was a 30-yarder. So I mean, he caught the ball about the 20 because that was Lincoln's first touchdown pass on varsity as well. So got it about the 25, 30-yard line and broke a tackle and then hauled it all the way down.
He's trying to get the win here in this ball game. The 1-1 pitch. That one's taken for strike 2 to Tate Walker, and now he's down the count. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. Had an RBI single back in the third. He grounded out in the first inning and reached on an air in the fifth. He was also stranded at first base in the 5th inning, as Aaron Booth was able to work around that air. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Lusk to Walker. That one's in the dirt. Now 2-2. Game 2 is on the way in just a little bit. It will be about half hour after this ball game completes. So a little bit after the 8 o'clock hour here in the capital city. The wind has completely died down right now, according to the American flag out there in center field. The 1-2 pitch chopped to the third baseman, Gordon. Only plays the first. A throw. That one's in time and right to the chest of Zabel. And there's one down here in the top of the 7th inning. I say the wind dies down, and you can hear it in the crowd mic that's hanging right outside the press box. And here is Garrett Grismer, the designated hitter. He is 0 for 2. He drew a walk in the second, got stranded at third, flew out to the right fielder, and then it was also a ground-out victim. We'll have a courtesy runner, not a courtesy runner, it'll be a pinch runner. Actually, it could be a courtesy runner. Wyatt Hunt is the catcher, and didn't see what the number was.
He was number 7, I believe.
Number 7. So Matthew Moyes is going to be the runner at second base. That's a nice spot out there. You should be a coach. You get into coaching. You can spot a lot.
Trying. I got glasses on here, so I need some binoculars though. I'm used to being a little closer to the action.
And maybe for those that are just joining us, it is Coach Steve Steele, the Pierre Governors, and the Wyatt Capitals. So that was a complete joke that. It's not a joke that you should be a coach because you should be a coach. You are a coach, but it's just joking that he isn't a coach right now. Coach White talking to Matt Lusk and Cade Hinkle out at the mound. One down here in the top of the 7th inning. Appreciate you coming up and joining me. Obviously, you're not done yet, but joining me here this evening.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. So hopefully we can do this again. Yeah, this was a lot of fun night, and said at any time, especially now, getting back and watching live sports and just seeing our boys play is a good excuse to get out of the house for a little while.
Yeah, and I've said this to several people. I've said it on the air a couple of times, and every day we get to play baseball is a great day for baseball, no matter what the conditions are. Even with as windy as it was, still a great day for baseball. As the first pitch is outside, 1-0 to Garrett Grismer. Logan Amerman is on deck. He is 1 for 2. Grismer is 0 for 2 so far. Here is the 1-0 pitch from Lusk to Grismer. That one is looked out for strike 1. Now 1-1 to the DH. Straight away, playing shallow. Obviously, that wind still a little bit of a factor. Still will hold the ball up as that American flag still blowing in from center field to that first base side. The 1-1 pitch upstairs now 2-1 to Grismer. Les looking for a second save in 3 games as he got the save in game number 1 Sunday afternoon. Looking for the save in game 1 here tonight. 2-1 is outside, 3-1, and maybe that talk that with Coach White and to Matt Lusk was there's a base open. Don't give him anything that he can drive. Make him work to get a base hit if he's going to get a base hit, because you have that base open and you can get a ground ball to get out of the game if you put him on first base. The 3-1 pitch from Lusk is high and outside, and that's a one-out walk and maybe an intentional walk to Grismer. And that'll bring in Logan Amerman. 1 for 2 so far. He get doubled and came around to score in the 4th. He walked in the 6th and came around to score. And we'll have another pinch runner, as that's the go-ahead run now. And it's going to be Mitchell Sand that will be the pinch runner for Grismer. So Sand is for sure into the ball game now, as the first pitch to Amerman is just a bit up outside and maybe a little high, and 1-0. So now here with 1 down in the top of the 7th, the last thing you want to do is walk the bases loaded. Luck's got to find the strike zone to at least make Amerman put the ball in play. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That one is popped up on the left side. Is it going to stay in play? Gordon will chase after it, and he's going to run out of room. It'll land out of play, and it's now 1-1. On a calm day, that might stay on the warning track area just past the third base dugout, but instead it goes about 10 feet out of play. And, on a calm day, a normal day with little wind, still windy, but a little wind compared to today, would have stayed in play for Gordon. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That one's in the dirt, and a really good stop there by Henkel. Another last thing you want to happen is a wild pitch to move both those runners into scoring position and also take away the double play. So now here's the 2-1 from Matt Lusk to Amerman. That one's out towards center field. Coming in on it will be Keenholz. He will get underneath it, makes the catch, and there's now 2 down. And the 8s are an out away from finishing off win number 4 of the season and take game 1 here, the doubleheader, and first of 6 straight ball games here in the next 3 days. A lot of baseball here at Hyde Stadium. Is going to get a lot of use from here on out. The Trappers are going to start June 26th, so that's next week Friday already. Although they won't be home till July 3rd, but I believe at one point there's probably going to be, I think, maybe 10 days in a row of games being played here at Hyde Stadium between the Senior Legion and the Pierre Trappers. And that also includes some doubleheaders in there too. So a lot of baseball games will be used by Hyde Stadium. First pitch is outside to the number 7 hitter, Gage Darrow, who is 0 for 0 so far. He hasn't had an official at bat. He had a sacrifice bunt in the 2nd. He got hit by a pitch in the 4th, came around to score, and he walked and came around to score in the 6th inning. And that one will get into play. Stout will go back on it into shallow center field. He'll get underneath it. He makes the catch, and that will end the ball game, as Post 8 will win this one 6-5 here in game number 1. A lead that they saw 6-0 after the bottom of the 2nd. 5 straight runs by Post 320 from the 3rd through the 6th, but they can't get that tying run to score, and Post 8 will take game 1 here tonight against the Post 320 Stars. We'll step aside for 2 minutes, come back and wrap up game 1, start to get you set for game number 2. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. We welcome you back here to the post game of game number 1 as the Post State's Pierre Post State wins 6-5 over the Post 320 Stars. John Winkler alongside Coach Steve Steele. As Coach, hey, that was a fun first game for this night, but also just a good first game in general for Pierre.
Yeah, that was a good way to start the night, and like I said, especially holding off that late charge from him there, and finding a way to get the big win there at the end of the game. Make a couple really good catches there, just to again preserve that lead, get out with a win, and reset and regroup, and go get game 2 now.
Pierre scored 6 times in the second inning. That's the only time they scored in the ball game. They left 4 guys on base over the entire course of that game, and 3 of those guys were stranded in the second inning. So they had a chance to really open things up, just aren't able to do it, but only had 1 guy then left stranded on base through the last 4 innings of work. And for Henry London, did a pretty good job for Post 320. Logan Miller will take the loss. Aaron Booth picks up the win, and Matt Lusk will have the save here in game number 1. 5 hits given for Post 320. They had 2 errors in the ball game and left 8 men on base. And for Pierre, 6 runs on 8 hits, 4 errors, and they left 4 men on base. And the time of the ball game was, let's see here, it got over at 7:46, so it was about an hour and 49 minutes, if my math is correct, as it started at 5:57, over at 7:46. An hour and 49 minutes sounds pretty good to me. It sounds about right. So a good ball game for, for the Pierre Post State, as we have about 25 minutes or so before we get started with the second game. Coach, appreciate you coming and joining me here. I know you got to get back home and get the kids to bed, so it's fun talking to you. And for those that have listened throughout the broadcast, and maybe you're only listening because Coach Steele is going to be joining us, he'll be joining us again down the road again. So make sure you come on back and listen to game 2, but come back whenever Coach Steele comes back as well. Yeah,
no, appreciate you having me. And like I said, just getting out, watching some live sports, getting an opportunity to come try out to be your hype man for officially down the line. Appreciate it. And, like I said, thanks for all you guys do for not just for football, for hockey, but for all the young men and women in the Pierre area here in all their sports, all the coaches, all the things you guys do for us. We really appreciate it.
Pierre Governor head coach, Hawaii Capitals head coach, and John Winkler's personal hype man, Steve Steele, here in the broadcast with us tonight. Post State wins the first game 6-5. We'll step aside for 3 minutes. We'll come back and we'll start talking about game number 2. You're listening to Post State Baseball, and today it's KCCR, and today it's KCCR.com.